Hello, Helen.
Hi.
So, we're at the end of the road. How are we doing?
I think I'm doing pretty good on the whole.
Pretty good?
Pretty good. Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Well, um, things are going better with my husband.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to communicate more and communicate better. I've been taking the walks like we talked about,
Good.
and that's good. It's a really good method to clear my head. I'm starting to notice more when I'm feeling overwhelmed and when I need to just kind of back off a little bit and go for a walk. So that's very helpful. And what else were we talking about? I think I've been going to Mass more with the family and trying to socialize more at work. At church.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not entirely natural, but I think I'm improving
Okay.
on that.
So, that sounds like a lot of improvement. I mean, you're working on your relationships with your husband, your kids by going to Mass, taking those walks to decompress and kind of clear your head. What about with your in-laws? How's that going?
It's getting a little better. They are at least seeing that I'm making the efforts with the family to get out and to go to church. That makes them feel better to see me at church. And I've done better about getting out of bed in the mornings, and that also seems to be filtering back to them, whether it's through the kids or my husband or what, I'm not sure, but it seems to be, minor improvements there. I think it'll get better, though, with time.
Yeah, baby steps, but I'm so impressed with your progress. Like, you've been
Thank you.
just zipping right through it. I know that since we're reaching this point, I just wanted to kind of recap, like, where you've come from to where you are, and then how we can continue this process of just kind of healing, feeling better. So, what have you kind of taken away from this, between you and I, what I've told you, what we've worked on, that kind of stuff?
I think the main thing is just being aware of my state of mind and my kind of stress level,
Mm-hmm.
and knowing when I need to do some of the self-care, like the walks, and being aware of using one of those alternative methods like the walks or kind of little meditation or prayer or those sorts of things instead of going back to the alcohol
Mm-hmm.
and things I was doing before, which I shouldn't have been. It's still tempting, alcohol is a quick road to relaxation,
Mm-hmm.
for sure, so it is definitely tempting. I can't say I'm 100% at that, but I have definitely, definitely looking for alternative ways to deal with things, to cope.
Okay. So I see you've been practicing those mindfulness techniques. You've been learning when you're getting stressed how to de-escalate, and you're taking away that you can rely on those walks and you can rely on prayer and meditation and utilizing your religious life to kind of decompress and not have to lean on the things that you don't want to anymore.
Sure. I mean, they've proven to work. So.
Okay, good. Glad to hear it. And do you feel confident in being able to step away from the alcohol and be like, no, I don't need this right now. I'd fare better if I went for a walk. Do you feel like it's becoming easier?
Well, it's definitely becoming easier.
Okay.
Like I said, it's not 100% the way I'm thinking, but I would say like 65% of the time, I am just like clearly like, I don't want to go there. I'm not going to get the result I want
Mm-hmm.
with the alcohol, and my family would be so disappointed if I did that. So, yeah, I mean, I think, like I said, 65% of the time I'm 100% confident I can deal with that, and then it kind of goes from there. There's 30% of the time I'm kind of like mostly confident, and then there's that little 5-10% of the time where like I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
But I think that's when I try to reach out, call a lifeline,
Okay.
get a friend or talk to my husband or just distract myself somehow.
Good.
Yeah.
So not getting that result you want from alcohol, what does that result look like with using it for the walks? Like, what is that you want to get out of it?
I just, some personal mastery, I guess,
Okay.
if that makes sense. Like just knowing that I don't need a substance. Like I can find an alternative technique to just deal with things and not cause, not use a method that's going to cause further problems.
Okay. So not leaning on something that's gonna escalate the situation.
Right. Not doing things that are going to drag me down ultimately. Right.
Gotcha. And you said that you've been able to lean on your husband a little bit more?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's been more receptive and more enthusiastic about working with me now that I've shown more progress.
All right. Good. I'm super impressed. So with all that in mind, while you have all these skills to utilize, like leaning on your husband, reaching out to friends, going for walks, prayer, meditation, obviously nobody's perfect. We have tendencies to slip.
Sure.
So in the case of you falling back a little bit, or you noticing that you're oversleeping or tending to reach towards alcohol, what can we do to make sure that we don't fall back?
That's a good question. I'm not sure. Maybe I should make a plan with someone
Okay.
that I could call them, or I don't know. Do you have any ideas?
Well, who could that someone be? Who could you call?
Well, probably one of my good friends from church
Okay.
would be willing to talk me out of it, or
Mhm.
come spend time with me, maybe.
All right. So reaching out to someone outside of your immediate circle, like a friend from church, not family.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that idea. I think it kind of takes you out of that sticky situation of your family taking issue with you taking issue,
Sure.
I think that's a great idea. So when you reach out and you call someone, is that going to be your first step, or is that going to be further along?
I think that would be further. I'm going to try to take the walk or do the mindfulness practices first,
Okay.
and see if I can calm myself down. But if it really, looks like I'm really heading towards a beer or something, then I'll make the call.
All right. So to prevent you from slipping back, we're going to use one of those mindfulness skills, take a walk, attend a mass, or if that doesn't work for you, then you'll reach out to someone, have them come sit with you and try to de-escalate from what's going on.
Yeah.
Okay. I think that's a really good plan. I think that's going to benefit you in staying away from those things you don't want to lean towards.
Yeah.
So I think that's a good idea. So like I said, this is our last session, and I just wanted to touch on what I had touched on in one of our earlier sessions. It was our first session actually, which is if I see you out in public after this final session, I don't want you to feel like I'm snubbing you or anything. It's just for your safety and for your privacy. I won't come up to you and address you first. It's gonna be, if you want to come up and say hi to me or just like catch up, totally fine. I would be more than happy, but I don't want to be the one that like comes up to you in front of friends or something and then ask you like, who is that? You know what I mean?
Sure.
Okay.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, just so you understand that I don't want to put myself in your life more than you want me to be, if that makes sense.
Sure.
Okay. So now that we have your plan in place, we've talked about what we'll do if you ever see me out in public or something. I just wanted to reiterate that counseling is always going to be here. I hope that you found this relationship beneficial. And if you ever do feel like your prevention plan isn't working or you're slipping back and it's just not enough, you're more than welcome to come back and see me, or I can always refer you out to someone else if you'd like. I can give you the names of other agencies. But just so you know, it's always available. We're always here to help. we're more than happy to help.
Okay.
And I think that at this point, I think it would be a great thing for you to kind of spread your wings, go off on your own, practice your mindfulness and your meditations, and go to mass, continue to improve on those relationships like we've talked about, and then if you feel like you need further guidance, come back and see me, but if not, totally fine.
All right. Well, thank you. I really appreciate this.
Yeah. And how do you feel about this ending? Do you have any anxieties?
You know, I appreciate your support and your advice. I'm going to miss that, I think, but
Mhm.
no, I think I'll be all right.
Okay. Well, you've been a pleasure to have as a client, and just as someone to sit and listen to. I've enjoyed our time together, and again, if you ever need to come back and see me, feel free. Always here. Love to have you. All right?
All right. Thank you.
All right. Good to see you.
All right.